Welcome everyone back to another Coach Blaker video. If you've watched my patch notes, hi, I've already explained that I was going to make this video. If you haven't watched my patch notes and you want a little bit of an insight on what's going on, check out my patch notes video. What champion types should be in your pool for each role? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you're interested in coaching, again, CoachBlaker.com is where you want to go. If you need help reaching your goals by the end of the season, because it's almost here, like what, a month, almost 2 months? If you don't have a lot of time but you want to reach your goal, there's something for you. If you do have a lot of time and you want to reach your goal, there's something for you. If you just want to become better, there's something for you. So check out my site, CoachBlaker.com. So the first role that we have is top lane. Now I feel confident making this list because I've been coaching for going on 10 years and I've reached diamond in every single role. So I feel confident in saying what helps me climb with each role. So for top lane, what you want to have up there is you want to have at least one carry champion and one kind of tank bruiser champion. So for me, when I played top, it used to be Jace, and then I'd play Shin. So Jace in games where I feel like I don't need a frontliner, we're good. Shin when I do need a frontliner. Nowadays I'm playing Gnar top. He's just best of both worlds. But if you're gonna be a tank player, be a tank player, but have another champ that you can play that is not gonna just straight up be lacking in damage. Because what happens if you're a tank, your support's a tank, your jungler's a tank, and you only have a mid and ADC to rely on for damage, it's very, very hard. Especially if mid is a Galio player, right? Then you only got one damage source. So this is why it's important to have that carry champion, because you're not put in a situation where it's like we have no damage and it's up to this 180 carry or this one mid laner to pull off the job. That's not what you want. So try to have at least one carry champion in that pool. And if you guys ever need help deciding on what champions you want to have, feel free to book a session. We can talk about it, and we can go ahead and see what might work for you based off the champions you already play, and I'll be able to give you pointers and insights on how to play them. And the reason why you don't want a whole bunch of carry champions is because if you need a front line and you don't have one, you're risking the chance of actually winning the game mid to late game because your comp is not going to be good. So if there are 4 damage dealers on your team, you're gonna need to play that frontliner just because you don't want to ruin your chances of winning. As far as jungler goes, it's kind of the same concept here. We want that frontliner. It doesn't have to be a tank. Jungle has a lot of different champions. That's the cool part about jungle. There's a lot of different champions, so it doesn't really have to be a tank. You have frontliners that aren't tanks, but they can survive a long time. Kayn is a prime example. So you'd pick based off of that. But you do want one AD and you want one AP champion. Okay, if you are a Sejuani player, well, you're gonna need still one AP and one AD, right? You're gonna need a more of a carry type. You can have one or the other, but you still need to be able to have it. Now you can say Sejuani's kind of AP, which she is, but again, if you don't have any AP, you might need to just scrap that Sejuani and pick a actual AP champion to help you win the game. So with jungle, it's not about having a tank and then a carry. It's more about having a frontliner and then an AP or AD pick. So Kayn is a frontline AD. I'd probably get like Echo as a secondary pick. As far as like a frontline AP, I can't think of it right now. I'm just gonna throw out Gwen. I don't see it too much, but Gwen is a frontlining AP champion. So then your AD could be whatever. So you kind of got to balance it out like that, okay? Next up, we have mid. What we want as mid is very simple, cut and dry. We want an AD and an AP. Doesn't matter who it is, what it is, AP or AD. Doesn't matter. As long as you got one of the two, as long as you got both of them in your kit, you're good to go. So if you're a Zed player, grab Akali. If you're a Akali player, grab Zed. Now, I'm not saying those in particular. You could grab an easier champion. Maybe if you're very, maybe you're a Zed player, but you're like, I don't really know how to play any AP champs. Play like Veigar or something like that, something easy so you can pass. But definitely very important that you have one or the other, because sometimes comps are going to be ruined if you don't have an AP, and it's gonna be bad if you got a whole bunch of tanks lined up and all you have is AD. Trust me. Next we have is ADC. So with ADC, I recommend an early game champion, and then I recommend a late game or tank shredding champion. Okay. Now whether or not one or the other is your comfort pick, it is what it is. But you need to make sure that you have a champ that can deal with tanks. So for me, my comfort pick is Aphelios, and everybody hates me playing Aphelios, but I like Aphelios. And then my early game champion would be like Lucian. Then my late game champ would be Vayne or Kai'Sa. So a lot of the times, if you guys watch my stream, you'll see me flex between those quite often. It would be Lucian, it'd be Aphelios, it'd be Vayne, and then it'd be Kai'Sa. If I play anything else, then, you know, Jin's another one. But if I play anything else, then it is what it is. But you got to make sure that you have that. Because if you don't have that, let's say your whole team is an early game and you're the only late game champ on your team, it's going to be rough because your jungler is going to start invading, and because you're weaker than everybody, you're going to probably start losing because you can't win those fights, right? Whereas if your whole team's late game and you're playing an early game champ, you're not really going to have time to play because your whole lineup is like early game. I mean, late game. They're not going to be able to do anything with you early. So if you can kind of put yourself on sync with everybody, plus having a shredder if there's tanks, very, very, very important to have your climb go smooth. Last but not least, we have support. So enchanters, engagers, and a mage. I don't know why the first two had S's, but they did. So we want one enchanter, we want one engager, and we want one mage. So an enchanter could be like Soraka, an engage could be like Leona, and then a mage could be like Lux, whatever. But you got to make sure you have all three of those in your kit. The reason being is because not every support goes with every single AD carry. And if you want to make sure that your climbing is a success as a support, be sure to actually have champions that can help. Now, there are some mages or there are some enchanters or whatever that can pair with a lot of them, but you still have that off chance where you might need the enchanter, you might need the engager, you might need the mage. As an example, Aphelios is not a champion that likes to play with mages or that likes to play with engagers. I mean, he likes to play with engagers. Mage is a little different story, but he requires that peel. Unless your Aphelios is a god, he's gonna need that peel. He's a hyper carry, right? Jinx is a hyper carry. Vayne's a hyper carry. Like, these champions would really like you to be an enchanter to boost their odds of actually winning the game. Then you have champs like Lucian, right? Or Draven, or Samira. Those champs want something that can lock them down, want something that can make it so that they can get kills early. Then you have champions like Caitlyn. You have champions like Miss Fortune, right? These are champs that like to poke. They like to just bully them out of lane. It doesn't really matter if I get kills as long as I get plates. So why would you play a melee champion that can't help push and you can't do anything and then you're forced to roam? See what I mean? So it's a lot easier as a support player if you can just adjust and pick champs based off the AD carry. Now, I'm not saying ask your ADC every single game, what do you want to play? If they don't hover, don't trip. But if they do hover, try your best to try to, or they pick before you, try your best to try to really match and synergize with them, okay? So that's pretty much my thought process. Now let's go through each role and see how many champs you should have. So as for top, you should have 2 champs. That's kind of the pool. For jungle, it should be 2 champs. 3 maybe. For mid, it should be 2 champs. For ADC, it should be 2 champs. 3 maybe. And then for support, it should be 3. Okay? So, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Of course, if you guys want any help on, like I said, learning any champions or learning these roles, CoachBlanket.com is where you want to go. I will make sure that you're set on the right path to start climbing. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your night. And until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing what? Approaching this like a coach.